I have a dream. I have a dream of becoming an educator, a teacher for the youth and adults alike, to allow my teachings of academics and personal to be influential within the individual, that they can also teach amongst their community. A never ending cycle of learning, a legacy. That is my dream. Hi, my name is Noel Jr., and the career path that I've chosen is becoming a middle school or high school teacher. Throughout the 7.5 week course, the journey of exploring who I am, the why behind choosing this degree program, and mapping out my future career has given me perspective of a clear vision of an up and coming future that aligns with both my personal values and a purpose towards delivering influential growth both personally and academically that will impact the lives of students for the better. I have a passion for teaching. I enjoy coaching. I had opportunities to teach before entering college, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I can relate to a range of ages, and I have a high quality of engagement, as well as implementing a plan to involve real life situations towards the academic learning. I currently am a semester away from earning my degree, and I'm reflective of the students within my community that are failing and have the opportunity to thrive and be in a position to achieve goals, academic goals, that are critical towards the advancement of an individual. That is why I want to become a teacher. That is why I have the dream. Throughout this journey, throughout this slideshow, you'll encounter components towards this career path as far as strengths, leadership skills, motivation, what leaders influence me and why, advocacy and empathy, and then finally, what is my career track look like, my path towards becoming a teacher. Come join the journey with me. Being a teacher is such a rewarding experience. But the pursuit of mastery is one of the most essential parts of not only the evolution of within yourself, but to the students, and it needs an array of strengths. My strengths include communication skills, enthusiastic, a problem solver, caring, and resilient. But I want to look at my strengths through a different lens, the lens of an emotional intelligence. I took an assessment in the beginning of the course and found my 3 strengths associated with emotional intelligence. They are self-awareness, motivation, and relationship building. Emotional self-awareness is the ability to recognize what you're feeling and understand habitual emotions and how your emotions impact behaviors and performance. Really, it's being proactive before becoming reactive. The motivation and really the ability to understand your deepest emotions and how that can move and guide you towards your goals. The motivation that we'll talk about later today, my self-determination in earning a degree, the first thing within my family. And then more importantly, the relationship management, the ability to manage, influence, and inspire emotions in others. And how am I in my ability to role model my relationship management to be able to build foundational skills towards others, to build successful teamwork and leadership skills. And more importantly, cultivating a positive culture that individuals such as my colleagues and then in my future career as a teacher, my students be able to be welcomed and supported within. Self-awareness has really brought about my strengths as an individual and how that complement my pursuit towards becoming a teacher. What about my leadership skills? Do my leadership skills align to a successful teacher at the role of a middle or high school teacher? I'm not 100% sure, but I have to be optimistic. Optimistic in seeing the present and what my skills are and developing responses toward the possibilities of control outputs, such as my areas of opportunities and also my strengths. My strengths here are listed on the slide here, which I am an effective listener. My ability to understand the needs, fears, and expectations of not only my colleagues, but the relationships I built, and for my students for the future. That will build trust and togetherness. But trust and togetherness. My attitude is extremely important. It's the ready, willing, and ability to leave my comfort zone to engage in challenges that I face every day. How do I impact them? How is my attitude towards them? A smile on my face will make the environment seem welcoming, but never mask your true emotions. And I think that's what attitude is extremely important on. Being vulnerable and flexible with being transparent with your emotions. The ability to adapt to the environment requires sensitivity and integrating into an existing framework or relationship. Having motivation, be able to say I can and not I can't, and how my leadership styles of coaching and participative can be really impactful towards the career of becoming a teacher. I love this photo right here of the individual climbing up the stairs because it's relatable to myself climbing up the stairs and earning my degree in educational studies. I have so many mountains I have to climb that the ability to continue to climb is determined by my self-determination. But it also is contributing to two different components of that, which is eccentric and incentric motivation. Eccentric being external rewards such as earning a degree or a job or getting a pay raise, compared to incentric, which is pretty much the emotional portion of it, the joy, the happiness, the failures, and learning how to accept those failures, regrets, and how those positive and negative emotions really kind of drive you towards the self-determination being a little bit more motivating or better. It allows me to handle conflict and create a culture that is rewarding, be able to supply disciplines and practices within myself, besides the external, which is just a one and done thing. My motivation will be more incentric and allow my self determination to allow me to climb the stairs more effectively, also with slipping and falling, but getting back up and continue to climb. Leader I want to speak about, and his name is Kevin Apnell. He's the executive director at York County Alliance for Learning, and he is a mentor and a former educator of mine. And one of the things that I really value from Kevin is his ability to care and express kindness. As I thought it was a weakness in the beginning when I first met him, has really changed my perspective and seeing how much of a strength these attributes are towards the leadership style that he presents every single day. It is something that builds trust, camaraderie, and those relationship building that I mentioned earlier as a strength of mine, and accentuating what care and kindness is towards leadership. It's such a high attribute and quality that I want to take in order to implement it within myself to be able to be successful as an educator here in the future. Martin Luther King Jr. is the leader number two here and a role model of mine, and not only his advocacy towards social injustice and civil rights. However, he had an underlying message of empathy towards the individual and understanding who they are and what they represented. But he was such a visionary as well in his pursuit of unity, inclusion, and equality really resonates with today's environment is today. How diverse the world is and how diverse our school is. A teacher is in need of implementing Dr. Martin Luther King's advocacy techniques and approaches towards teaching kids today, which is essential and which promotes empathy and understanding the dynamics of the classroom as well. Leader number three is Parrish Petrie. He's an educator and coach and a former basketball coach of mine. He always said this, and he really implemented this within anybody he embraced and impacted, is pushing the limits, pushing the boundaries. Parrish is one of those individuals that implemented not only in his practices as a coach, but really wanted you to utilize this outside the basketball court, outside the sports arena, and pushing boundaries and pursuing your passions, pushing boundaries and taking risks in areas that you might be afraid of, pushing boundaries to succeed and believe in yourself. That's what I want to implement and take from parish into the classroom as a teacher. Empathy and advocacy are not my strongest attributes, and I really dedicated myself in improving towards towards my empathetic journey and an advocacy journey in all phases of my life. Through counseling, general practice, and developing care for others, through empathy, as well as really diving into the educational situations that are happening today within our environment, such as pay and support. I'm looking to voice my opinions at PTO meetings or parent-teacher conferences on the educational practices that are being taught to my son, or networking and self-promoting who I am, really separating myself from candidates as I can have a more of an impact in today's classroom because of how diverse it is. You know, and now and in association with empathy and understanding the dynamics of the classroom and how I can advocate for the student moving forward is really essential to kind of strengthening this area of opportunity and being really impactful within the classroom. And this is a huge reflection point because being able to implement noble goals and pursuing this career track is quite scary. I'll be very honest, transparent. It's a scary feeling to have. I'm fearful of moving forward, as going from a 3-year journey as a student to now pursuing the career track of becoming a teacher, as well as trying to decide if the chosen career that I'm in is truly the right path for me. And it really starts with what is my passion. Understand the it factor towards myself. I have to realize who I am as an individual. And how to do that is sit down and have a reflection with myself. Write down write down things that I'm passionate about, strengths, my leadership styles that I've expressed earlier today, and really try to understand who I am and where I really want to end up for the long term as a career choice. As I brought this career track to life through this presentation, I shouldn't have second thoughts. I really want to do this. My passion, as I mentioned before, I love teaching. I do love teaching, but is right now the right time to be able to take this journey, even though I feel that my purpose is belonging as an educator towards students within my community. I do want to be prepared for it. So the development of a career plan is essential in bringing a vision and also an evaluation plan, maybe annually, and looking at my career annually and seeing where am I at to date to really put my happiness before other needs. And there's a lot of variables that come to that track as well, but at least I'm prepared to be able to pursue the track when I am ready and allow the happiness to overcome the fear in pursuing this 100%.